You've made it to the top of the resume pile, had your first interview, and now invited for one last pass with the suits over lunch. How do you handle it? Well, we've got the magic bullet sitting right here. Let's welcome back Diane Gottsman, National Etiquette Expert and founder of the Protocol School of Texas. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me. I love this topic.
I love this too, and it's such a treat to have you here in studio with us. This really stuck out to me because I've had these in my past when applying for jobs, and even in these tight times, lunch interviews are still a thing.
Yes.
Right.
Second interviews are generally conducted over a meal, and not because they want to feed you. It's not about the food, but the recruiter wants to see how you handle awkward moments, how you treat the wait staff, how you're going to respond if they ask you if you'd like a drink. So these are great tips for anyone interviewing for a job or going on a first date even.
Yeah, it's true. You can apply that to a first date as well. Well, let's start with this. All right, so you've arrived at the restaurant. How early should you get there?
So get there about 5 minutes early. You don't have to get there 20 minutes early, but there is no such thing as there was a wreck or there was a train, because you're taking all of that in consideration and you're planning for that. So you arrive a little bit early, you wait for the recruiter, and when they get there, allow them to lead the way to the table. And that's because you want them to lead the way around the table. They're going to tell you where they want you to sit.
Yes.
Meaning, you don't just plop down at the best seat, which, by the way, the best seat at a table is facing out to the center of the room without facing your back to the door.
And also, they're the ones who invited you there in the first place, so you allow them to take the lead in walking first to the table with the host or hostess, sitting down first.
Sitting down first. They get to choose the table. Yeah. So if you go first and the server offers you a table and you say yes, they may not want that table.
Right.
So they take the lead.
All right, and let's talk about beverages. So may I offer you a cocktail today?
So they're going to ask you, this is very common. They're going to say, I'm going to say, Layla, would you like a glass of wine? I'm going to have a glass of wine. And you are going to say, Diane, please go ahead, I'm going to pass.
Yeah.
Because it's a test. They want to see if you're going to drink that glass and drink the second glass, and they may give you the bottle and they'll make sure you get home safely in an Uber, but they're not going to hire you. Because for a job interview, it's not wise. Because if you spill something and you've had a glass of wine, you're drunk.
Right.
If you spill something and you are having tea or water, it's just a mistake, and that's much easier to understand.
You also don't want to spill the tea and say too much because the wheels are greased.
Yes, yes. And once you get the job, and I encourage people to go to happy hour even if you don't drink, because that's building relationships, and certainly you can have a glass of wine or two, under the right circumstances, but not a job interview.
No. Clinch the job first. Clinch the job first. Let's talk about food, because there are certain things that, first of all, don't take forever in looking through the menu. You advise to look ahead of time.
Look ahead of time. Get online. If you have an allergy, call ahead and say, for example, I have a nut allergy. What can I order that can accommodate my allergy? So you know in advance, and you're not holding up the menu, the ordering process. Right. But you want to stay away from two things. You want to stay away from salad, because it's going to stick to your teeth.
Yes.
It is going to be in your teeth, and you're going to be sucking on your teeth thinking they don't notice. Yeah. And you're going to stay away from spaghetti, because you twirl,
splash
and you
everywhere.
bring this big mound of spaghetti to your mouth and suck the tails.
Yeah.
So just have penne pasta. Have a protein if you eat meat. If you're a vegetarian, something that you can use a knife and a fork, because it's easier and you can keep eye contact with your recruiter.
And appetizer, no appetizer, just follow the lead of the person who's
Follow
invited
the
you.
lead. And as you get towards the end of the meal, don't look for a dessert unless they say, would you like dessert? Because they're on a time crunch. They need to get back to the office. This is an interview. It's not a social occasion.
Another thing that I thought about is, if you're going to be sitting there with a menu in your hands, make sure that you at least have done your nails and they're clean and presentable. Because people are focused on your hands too.
They're focused on everything about you. So they want to see how you show up. Are you dressed appropriately? Are you manicured appropriately? And that also means your hair. Are you well groomed? Don't overuse jewelry. Light on the perfume, and eat before you go, because it's not about the food. So have a little snack, a power bar, a little something, just so your stomach isn't growling. Don't ask for a to-go bag. Come back another time if you want. And then when the meal is over, the protocol of an invitation is you invite, you pay, you tip. So the recruiter is probably going to pay. If you feel the need to offer, just say,
Yes.
may I pay for my half?
Yeah.
And they're going to say, no, no. And then let them tip, because the bill and the tip go together.
Yes, I'm so glad that you brought that up. Always the invitee.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
perfect advice for people who want more information on your services.
It's easiest to find me on Instagram at Diane Gottsman. I own the Protocol School of Texas, as you know, and you can find me there. But everything you need to know is on that one social media site, and you can find my blog and everything else from there.
Terrific. Well, bon appetit, everybody, and clinch that job. Thank you so much, Diane.
Thank you, Layla.
We're back in 2 minutes.